Hi folks, Thomas Henson here with thomashenson.com, and today is another episode of Big Data, Big Questions. So welcome back to the new year. Our first thing that we're going to tackle today in our first episode of Big Data, Big Questions for 2018 is going to be non-technical jobs or career options inside of big data. So it's submitted in from one of our YouTube users, and you can find out more right after this. So today's question comes in from YouTube. So remember, if you have any questions around big data or anything that you want to ask and you want me to answer, you can submit those in our YouTube comments below on any of the videos, or you can go to my website at thomashenson.com/big data questions. And you can submit any questions there and I'll answer them as best I can on air and give you kind of my advice on, the Hadoop community or big data or data engineers or any questions that you have. And so today's question comes in from YouTube, and it's from Shahzad Khan. He says, I work as a change manager, and I don't know anything about Java or Hadoop, but I want to learn this technology. Is it all right for me to learn since I'm not into coding? Also, I've never been involved in a development team. Please suggest. So, great question. Thanks for the comments, and thanks for watching. Continue to watch. My first thing when I look at this is we've talked about the ability, and I've had a couple other videos that you've seen where we've talked about that you don't have to know Java to be involved in Hadoop. And if you have any questions around that, you can kind of check into that. But really, I think this question, I want to frame it a little bit different and think about, just because you want to be involved in big data and you want to be, involved in the community and all the things that are happening, you don't necessarily have to have a technical role to be involved in that. And so there's three roles that I'm going to talk about that are non-technical from the aspect of coding and Hadoop administration that you can do to still be involved in data or even big data. So, I'm going to kind of put them together. So these aren't just specifically for big data. So this can be around data analytics. And so the first one is around data governance. And so when we talk about data governance, we talk about, what's the flow of data? Where did the data originate? Everybody's probably heard of the adage or the example of garbage in, garbage out. So where is your data coming from, and can you trust and can you automate and trust the data that's coming in? And so data governance is about where that data comes from, but it's also about how timely is that data. You're really involved with the sourcing of the data, and then also you're also looking at things around. I remember one of my first career options. I remember sitting around and we had a couple different applications, and the heads of each application were together, and we were all there to talk about the different ways that we name things in our own databases. And so if you think about it, we were trying to merge everything into an enterprise data warehouse. So this is a little more old school, but it still happens in big data when we have these different data sources. And so you might have an instance where data from one data set is named or has a different key than data in a separate data set, but you want to be able to merge those. And so data governance is around you can help find and help be a part of that, how you're, where the data is coming from. So that's one option. So I would look into data governance if you still wanted to be, involved in big data, but didn't have the technical skills or didn't have desire to have the technical skills. Another one is project management. So we always need good project managers. Project managers, they're the workhorses that really, kind of help bring the developers, bring the data scientists, bring the front-end developers, brings everybody together and really gets that project going, right? Make sure that we're communicating. So if you're interested in project management, you can do that from a non-technical perspective. One of the things, so I've actually got some stuff on my website where I went through and did the Scrum Master training. So think of Agile Development. So just like you would in traditional application development, big data needs Agile developers or Agile project managers as well. And then also look at the Scrum Master training, but also look at DevOps and see where kind of where that is. If there's any DevOps certifications or anything that you can provide in that background to be able to help and manage these teams. So project management is the second one, and then the big one, the next one, compliance and security. So we always need compliance, we always need security, especially now with the maturity of the Hadoop community and how much Hadoop is, taking over and being used in the enterprise. And so there's always compliance around it. So you think of HIPAA, you think of some of the SEC compliance here in America, but then you can also think of GDPR. So the GDPR, so the General Data Protection Requirements compliance, I would look at that regulation. That's something that's really interesting to me. And if I was somebody in non-technical and I was interested in compliance or security, that is one area I would start to look at, because I think there's going to be a growing need. So anytime there's any kind of regulation, and this is not a political statement in any way, but anytime there's any kind of regulation or a change in regulation, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes as far as interpreting that and making sure that you're in compliance with your enterprise, or if you're working for some kind of public institution, you want to make sure that you're doing that. So anytime something like that, if you can become an expert and kind of move to that, that would be huge as well. And then for securing the data too, I mean, it's an ongoing, probably overused joke that how many data breaches have we heard about? There's one every day. Well, big data is not, we're not immune to that. And in fact, we're larger, a larger target, because, think about, the 3 V's, volume. How much data do we have in your data lake? And so big data has big data, right? And so you need to be able to secure that. So those are the 3 areas I would look at for non-technical jobs if you still want to be involved in data. So data governance, project management, and compliance and security. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and I will see you again on Big Data, Big Questions.